I think my computer was too hot. Not in a good way, dude. Like
it is overheating.
Like a sweaty hippo shitting itself.
Why a hippo? Why does it got to be a hippo?
Because hippos are always
What about
wet.
the other animals out there?
Could be a lion, a sweaty lion.
There's too much. There's overrepresentation of hippos
Like a
in
sweaty
media.
giraffe. Sweaty alligators.
Sweaty.
Sweaty.
I'm getting all bothered.
Sweaty cocks.
Oh, that turn off.
Talking about the roosters.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Hey, all right. I won't judge you.
Actually, it turns me on, all of it.
Yeah.
Sweaty cocks.
The whole animal kingdom.
All representations of that word.
Nice cock.
Balls.
Banger.
Banger and mash?
Bangers and mash.
Yeah, banger and mash.
Is that even a real country? They have like nonsense
Is that a real
words.
country? There's no country named bangers and mash.
True.
Info and knowledge with Dane and Graham. Okay, let's start this.
Well, welcome
biatch.
to this GD cast.
This GD cast. This gosh darn cast.
It also stands for our names.
Oh, it does.
Clever.
Huh.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, me neither.
Just kidding. I'm the one that I coined it. So
Actually, I did.
we both did.
Yeah. No, just me.
I will murder you. I will take you to court over this.
I invented
Shit.
court. Was that...
You invented court?
Yes.
Dude. Well done, dude.
Hey.
It's kind of shitty, though. Can you make it a little better?
No, I invented it and set it free.
I do like your tenet where it's better to let guilty people go free than to put innocent people in prison.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's better.
Did a good job.
Guilty until proven innocent.
Yep.
But you're still free.
But you're always free.
You're free.
You're just branded with guilty. They literally brand you. Guilty.
And send you
have
in
a
the
good
world.
life.
It's on your forehead. Good luck getting a job.
Could be like
But you could get a job as an elected official. Hey. Anyways.
You can become the governor of New York.
Yeah. He's not a pervert. He's just Italian.
It's just how I talk with people. I kiss them on the mouth. I grope them a little bit. Stick my finger up there.
Grope them on the mouth. Put my meatballs in the spaghetti.
The bigger meatball.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about why we're here.
Yeah.
Why are we here?
I forgot. I forgot.
Were you trying to get your drink?
No, I was doing this, but it didn't want to hit us. But I forgot. I think I need to reminisce. Yeah. We're here to talk about Reminiscence, the new Hugh Jackman film directed by Lisa Joy. Also written by Lisa Joy. Mm-hmm. Who's also the showrunner of Westworld.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Along with Christopher... What the fuck?
That's not what I wanted to do. I think I pulled up the...
That's some weird...
I pulled up a song for a very famous TV show that we probably can't say.
Was that a porn parody?
So no one told you life was gonna be this. I can't think of a
Could be this
sexy
way.
version of that. It's pretty sexy already.
Is it?
No one told you life was gonna be
Well,
this
that's
way.
sexy, not the original version. No one told you I'm gonna be the way. Anyways. Yes.
There's a different kind of sound effect there. You do that really fast. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Training.
should do
Core
training.
strength.
Core strength.
Core strength.
Do you have one of those like bouncy balls?
If that's what you want to call it.
You like bounce.
Yeah. I'm bouncing all right.
You're bouncing on some balls.
Hey.
Blood sex.
But yeah, Reminiscence.
That's a shout out to my mom who's watching. She does
Turns
watch
it up.
these and hates that.
She
we
just
are
turns
very
it
vulgar.
off. My mom does too.
And,
She's like, too much swearing.
can you please stop talking about green Hulk poop? No, I'm like, yeah, that's probably good, valid criticism.
No, we need to bring that to the world.
It is. It's very important.
It is important. But yes, Reminiscence. Lisa Joy, showrunner of Westworld, along with she runs that show with Christopher Nolan's brother, Jonathan Nolan.
Is that Christopher Nolan's?
Yeah, that's what I said. No,
Is that
Jonathan Nolan.
Jonathan Nolan's person? Because that's him.
What?
What?
But he's also Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy are married as well. So,
Oh,
but I believe this is her directorial debut.
this definitely has some Nolan-y like
Oh yeah,
stuff going on, so it makes sense.
but I'm glad they didn't get too bogged down in that because then it would have been another Tenet,
Yeah.
and no one wants that
No.
except for Christopher Nolan fanboys.
Yeah.
I love Christopher Nolan. I love every one of his movies except for Tenet.
Well, and like it wasn't that it was bad. Because I really like the concept.
Yeah, the concept was very
he
cool.
comes up with some really just interesting conceptual things. Like he comes up with going inside of dreams, and he comes up with going back in time, and he comes up with being Batman. You know, he comes up with these really cool concepts.
Yes, he invented Batman.
He did.
Bob Kane stole that from him. Back in
What
1940.
is that?
What was what?
I heard something like,
Are you burned, bro? You reliving that memory?
I'm reminiscing right now.
Spoiler alert, that means you're dumb.
Okay, so let's just talk about what we like
Let's
about
just
it.
do it, man.
I'm gonna let you go first, bro.
Yeah. I really...
Because I'm a good guy.
What?
Because I'm a good guy.
I feel like
Because I always let you go first.
not a good...
Always.
You're interrupting
Just kidding.
me. No, going into this movie...
All right, go ahead. I'll let
oh
you go.
my...
Okay.
But going into this movie, I thought it was gonna... I didn't have high hopes for it. And it still like had some faults. Big faults. But overall, I really enjoyed the movie as a whole. I like the concept. I like the aesthetic. It was a very good like neo sci-fi noir, which we've been sorely missing since Blade Runner 2049. We need more of that. Filmmakers, make it
Do it. Looking at
right
you.
now. Even had a reference to Blade Runner when near the beginning when Rebecca Ferguson's character May comes in and they're like had to like test her before they put her in the Reminiscence. And they set her up with a thing that like, goes into her eye or looks into her eye. You ever seen Blade Runner?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've seen the first Blade Runner. It was a
Yeah.
while ago.
Well, you remember
So-
when they how they test for if you're a replicant? And they have like that thing.
Oh.
I don't know if that was intended, but it seemed like it.
It seems weird if it,
seemed like a
wasn't
reference
intended
for it.
because it didn't seem like it was necessary.
Yeah.
Like
So-
but you know.
Yeah, it
was a
wasn't
cool
necessary for the story.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
it was a cool reference to Blade Runner, which I liked. And overall, I thought the acting was pretty great as well. Like Hugh Jackman, like just from the trailer, watching the trailer, he killed it with his emotional portrayal.
Where is she?
I guess the Nolans really like that.
I just really, I hate that line just because it was always in all the trailers and
Yeah.
out of context, it just seems really hackney. So
Yeah, it
the
does.
rest of his performance was really well done. I mean, he's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
It's just that line when that came up, I was like, oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
Yep.
This is the scene. And he's like, where is he? And then they cut away and I'm like, they lied in the trailer.
They never do that.
They never do that.
But I liked it because it felt like one of those like hard-boiled detective like 1940s noirs because of his like his voiceover and his like trench coat and he's walking in like the rundown city and then the rich are always fucking over the poor. Reminds me of Chinatown and Chinatown brings so that's all about water too, except
It is.
about drinking water, not drowning in it.
Yeah. They like water.
Yeah. Yeah, what else? Well, you can
Yeah,
go
I like
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I feel like it started off a little wonky for me. I guess I haven't seen as many of the like noir type movies before, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It definitely was, it was a little bit like, it seemed like a little bit more difficult to like get into it just because of the narration, you know? Obviously that's a really big like noir style, but it just felt like, you know, we always have movies where it's like narration over it to kind of explain what's going on instead of just actually explaining.
Right.
You know, and so it gets a little overused for me.
Mm-hmm.
Even though in this movie I feel like they did it well, but it's just really overdone in my mind. So
yeah. No, it is an overdone trope, but I liked it used. It was used well in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it made me feel good because watching it of like all the old noir movies.
Yeah.
And noir novels that I've read as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no,
you were
understand.
alive when those came out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was a child reading about murder and rape.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a good time.
Those were the days.
Those were the days.
Yeah, I love it. But
now we gotta watch TikToks.
Yeah.
Okay. But I kind of wanted to touch on just the technology aspect of it.
Okay.
And I kind of liked like the portrayal of like the technology in this and how it was like there was different levels of it, and then they like the government had like the old version that was from like, you know, the past, and they're like, oh, you got this old clunker.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. And then even at the very end they showed like the really futuristic one that like, you know, like, as opposed to theirs, which was like an underground one or whatever.
Yeah, like an older school one.
They never really explained if they were like legally doing that or if that was illegal what they were doing.
Well, I think it was illegal because of where they were located. Because I think they got it through like illegitimate means after they were in the military. So he was an interrogator, so he probably like got it somehow.
And they had a better one than the prosecution had.
Yeah.
But it seemed weird that like the prosecution then brought them in to like interrogate it. So it's like,
well, because they didn't know how to use it.
Oh, gotcha.
They needed Hugh Jackman because he was like a professional. That's why when the guy was like, "Tell us what's happening," and then the guy starts blanking.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it is like, I agree with you. Like some of the writing, or I feel like some stuff was omitted or cut out that could have abridged some of these gaps.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was something that was severely lacking was just like their whole dynamic of like is like them doing that machine. Is that their main? It seemed like that was their main job, but it seemed like they were legally doing it. But then they were in league with the prosecution, like the district attorney's office. So they were somewhat on the up and up.
Yeah.
And like you said, like they were the ones that could do it. But and they talked about this like pretty big war over the water, and there was like a lot of really cool stuff in this movie that I thought would have been really cool to almost have as its own movie, you know?
I feel like this should have been a TV show. Almost.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she's a TV writer, so maybe it didn't transfer over well enough or something. I don't know.
And it definitely seemed like there was a lot of cool ideas in this that then didn't get fleshed out because they didn't have enough time.
Oh, totally agree.
Yeah.
I would have liked to seen like more of how the world kind of. I understand the world because it's global warming, the water level rose, but the war. Like who do we fight? Like what border are we talking about?
Yeah.
Talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming talking about like the Mexican border.
Yeah.
Because it's like poignant about what's happening in our reality at the moment. But then it also touched on like Asian discrimination because of St. Joe was like, I was put in the camps. Well, I was drafted too, but into the camps. While you went to the Navy or whatever. When Hugh Jackman goes to him. So there's a lot of good social commentary as well. It's very poignant at this time, I think. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen more of that as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like maybe have like an prologue, I mean, with Hugh Jackman and Tawny Newton in the war.
Yeah, like that's what I was kind of thinking. Like definitely having more about the war would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Because it was such a big part of not only the main character, but also his relationship to the other girl, Thondway Newton.
Tandy Newton.
Tandy Newton.
Or
That's
Watts, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And his whole relationship, as well as like a lot of like the thing with that big crime boss, like his whole thing was basically about, oh, I was thrown into the camps, which was a part of the war. Right. So we didn't really know anything about that, and we never got it explained.
Yeah.
And I think they did enough to kind of have us go, oh, okay, yeah, it's a throwaway line, so we'll move on.
Right.
But I kind of hate those lines now in movies, because a lot of times when you actually think about it, you're like, well, now what? Why was he thrown into a camp? Was it because of his race?
Right.
Was all the people of his race done that, or was it people like that immigrated in and did it? So yeah, there's a lot that's up in the air.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just assuming it was because of his race, because of what's happening now. Yeah. But in their reality, it wasn't explained. Because like Tawny Newton was drafted and she's a person of color as well. Mm-hmm. So it was just Asian people. So I don't know.
Yeah, which then makes it kind of, you're kind of thinking, well, then what's this thing with the border? Because for us now, it's basically a border between us and Mexico.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, oh, okay, Mexican Americans, it's maybe about that.
Yeah.
And about how we threw, like there was a whole thing in World War II where we threw Japanese into concentration camps. And so we made it done the same thing with Mexican Americans, but then it was, Asian Americans that were thrown in. So it was all up in the air and it was never explained.
Yeah. And it would have been different if it was just like between the two, like between Watts and Nick. Like that's how their relationship, how they got so close. But then like when he goes to investigate at what's that? The Sylvan Manor, and he finds out that the wife's burned.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then they like go to kill him, but then he like, no, don't kill me. And then the guy's like, oh, you served? And he's like, I won't miss next time, because he like lets him go because he's a fellow veteran and he served as well. Mm-hmm. So it's also like it's a good world building line, I think, as well, because it shows it's not just affecting two people, even because it was like a global war. Mm-hmm. But I would have liked to seen more.
Yeah.
And also at the end when like the riots happen, I don't feel like there was enough building of that, like boiling of that pot either. They had like a little bit with Sylvan like being corrupt.
I agree.
And then they had like a scene with the protest, and then at the end it was a big riot. Mm-hmm. And it was like it made sense, but I wish they had just showed like it happening, deteriorating more and more, and then it bursts once the truth comes out.
Yeah, I 100% agree, because it almost seemed like they were trying to introduce the barons who set up that moat. They tried to introduce them as being like the catalyst for these riots before you even knew why any of this was going on.
Right.
They're like, oh, they're really mad about at the barons, and then like you're like, oh, well, why? Did they do something bad? And then as the movie went on, then you realize more and more about just why people are mad.
Yeah.
It's not like you were finding out more about this like corruption that was going on, and then you see, oh, well, then when that comes out, it makes sense why people were rioting. It's like we slowly realized why they were even being targeted as the cause of all these problems.
Right.
And which is just, if you lived in that world, you would have already known why they were a problem. And so
I had no idea. Shit.
Yeah. Like, oh shit, they made those moats? Then it's like people in the world would be like, well, duh.
Yeah, right.
We're all underwater because they made those moats, you idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel like this movie had an identity crisis of like a love story, a tragic love story, and then social commentary on class system or class war, I guess you could call it. And I wish they would focus on one or the other. Like, I think it would have been more compelling. Yeah, it would have been more compelling if they just focused on one and then had the one as more of a subplot.
Yeah.
I think the love story should have been the subplot, and the social commentary, rich versus poor, should have been the main thing, but somehow intertwine them. But then it just felt like they were at odds with each other, like fighting for screen time.
Well, and I think it comes down to where it was fighting for screen time because they had to do it to make the motivations make sense. which
Yeah.
I think is good. That's a good thing in writing, is to sit there like, why are they doing what they're doing?
Right.
Which is what a lot of movies like lack, nowadays. You're like, why are they doing this? Like, why are they going there?
Right.
And if you step back and think, okay, he's doing this because he loves her and he wants to try and find her. And so that's why that's like a main part of it. And she's doing it because she is being blackmailed by this guy, spoilers. But then she falls in love. So that's why the stuff at the end is happening.
Right.
And so that makes sense. Like the motivations are set up. It just seemed like there was a lot of like stuff like the thing with him getting drowned in that tank by the
henchman.
Asian, by the henchman.
Yeah.
It seemed like that blew up because of the world building, because he's like, well, I went to the camps. So you went to go fight in the war? Well, I got drafted into the camps. You're in the wrong part of town, Bucko. And then, let's fucking kill him because I'm mad at like the situation.
Yeah.
And it would have made more sense if like they had established that more. But it seemed like they needed some way to have him like want to kill Hugh Jackman.
Right.
Because when you're like writing that scene, you're like, well, why does he want to kill him? Like there's obviously no reason for him to kill him.
Yeah, and they didn't show his like evil side before that either. He was actually more like benevolent when he like rescued May from the other dude. He's like, hey, what the fuck? Why are you treating her like that, you asshole? Mm-hmm. And then like they show his like sadistic side after when he like burns Cliff Curtis's character. What was his? Cyrus Booth's?
Cyrus Booth.
Like when he sends him to get burned alive. Mm-hmm. But that was after he put Hugh Jackman in the tank. Mm-hmm. And like it makes sense now after the fact. Like, oh, he's sadistic and he likes to cause people pain that fuck him over or fuck with him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, at the time it was like, why is he so mad? That had him. And that scene was like, it had some cool action moments in it. But I remember when the tank got shot out and then St. Joe's like, my tank. I was like, why did he say that? It wasn't even like he wasn't even like fully committed to it. He was like, oh, my tank. Oh no.
No, my eels. Oh
They're
no.
my best friends. They saved me from the camps.
He's had like 4 of his henchmen just get blown away and he's like, no, my friends.
They're the only
eels.
reliable ones. Yeah, and then also like the woman behind the bar shooting. All of a sudden, she just like jumps out from behind the bar and gets shot. And there was no motivation for her to do that. Mm-hmm. I feel like there was a bad edit or something.
Yeah,
and it was like what? Not that that's like makes the movie suck, but
yeah.
It was just weird because all of a sudden she's like jumping out from behind the counter for no reason. I was like, why is she going? She could have just ducked. But
I did kind of think it was funny that like they set up that Hugh Jackman had that needle ready to go like the whole time, and then when he was like fighting, and he was like in the tank, he like pulled it out, and like there was so much time spent like showing him like pull the needle out, getting it ready, and then him like trying to like, it's like that was like half of the like that was his weapon to go in there, was this like little needle thing. And they spent so much time like setting up to finally have him just take out that henchman guy.
Yeah, got him.
When really it could have just been a knife.
Yeah,
because it like the whole thing was like he like put it into his eye, so it's like, yeah, pretty sure he's dead. It doesn't matter that was like a sedative or anything. He's just, you fucking stabbed him in the eye. I think he's gone.
Yeah,
which could have just been a knife,
Dead. But now thinking back on it, I had that same thought. But now thinking about it now, I think he was going to use that to like drug St. Joe maybe and take him to the Reminiscence to find out where May went or something. Yeah, so back to the needle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like
sorry if there was a weird cut there, but the cameras were about to shut off, so we had to restart
DSLRs them. For you camera nerds out there. They only go for 30 minutes. Don't have a cinema camera because those are more money. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, never mind. I'm not going to get into that. But back to the needle, yeah. So it shows him like putting it in his sleeve, like little Assassin's Creed man. He's like, I'm gonna get you. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool little thing. But I'm like, well, as you said, it could have been a knife. It would have worked fine because he didn't actually use it for what he most likely intended it for. But they never explained why he was using that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And not a different weapon.
And I think that was just why it's a little weird. And I don't think it was like, I think maybe if they would have just done like a little like blurb before he got there.
Right.
Like they were already having him like do a voiceover.
Yeah, get a narrative. Like, I'm going to get Joe and put him in the Reminiscence.
Yeah, like it's time to
see where May is.
Yeah. You just like, it's time to find out what Joe knows. And then he, show him putting it in. Because they even showed him like getting everything like ready, like get everything ready. But he's like, yeah, this city's gone downhill. And you're like,
I'm the hero Gotham. I mean, Miami deserves.
It's New Orleans at that point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's going to Nolans.
Gone to Nolans.
Nolans, get Pawbot. I can't do that.
Apparently not. That was just gibberish.
That's all it is back down there.
Sure is.
Canceled by the swamp folk.
So yeah, that scene just a little irked me a little bit. But I actually found it kind of amusing when I probably shouldn't have, when he's like in the tank like drowning, and then she's like coming in there like shooting, and then she like ducks behind a pillar like, all right, I'm gonna get him, and like he's just like drowning still. The guy's just like, you take your hand off that guy, I'll kill you myself. Yeah. It's just like,
I think that was meant to be funny because Joe is very eccentric. Maybe that tank line was supposed to be funny too.
Yeah,
because I laughed. I was like, what? My tank.
That scene was kind of ridiculous, so it might have all been planned. I don't know, or like intended to be, like you said, comedic.
Yeah, so it was very serious for most of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a whole lot of humor.
No, there was not.
But there didn't need to be. I didn't think so, except for like at the end there was some humor too.
Yeah, but
that wasn't. I was like, what's that word? But.
Was that the word you couldn't? Yeah. You couldn't remember.
But that was it was like a weird tone for the humor.
Oh, gotcha.
Because he like just burned someone. Like, and he's like, "Don't talk here. Let's gotta go outside." And I was like, he just like sentenced someone to like oblivion, being burned alive for the rest of his life, and he's like, "Hey, well, just get out. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Oops, you know me. That's just me doing my stuff.
I'm just being wacky.
Yeah, me wacky over here, burning people, literally. Oh, yeah.
I did like how they basically like hit that irony on the head and like burning him, but he's actually being burned in his burn while he's being burned.
I wonder if that was intentional.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Like there was no other reason for him to have like burn marks. They could have had him like get a bunch of scars or had his arm cut off or something.
Is that how you give people scars?
Yeah, but they get you some mess up your eye.
Now you can't see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Could have done any number of things, but they chose to have him burned. And can I just say that, like, I know it probably shouldn't have
canceled.
Yeah.
Too late.
Too late.
Didn't even have to say it. It's like Minority Report here, dude. Except for the cancel culture.
Just bust in. Canceled.
All right, that's it. See you later. Because they can't do anything else.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say though, for real?
I honestly don't remember.
You said honestly shouldn't say this.
Did I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah. I think maybe also the burn is like, so he had a reason to have his hood up, so it was more mystery about who killed Elsa. Oh,
yeah.
So I think there's more than just to have that he got burned as well. Though it was a little on the nose.
Yeah, little on the nose there.
But, yeah, what else?
There is one scene I wanted to talk about that I thought was actually funny that probably wasn't supposed to be, but for me it was hilarious.
Go for it.
So Hugh Jackman is piecing together that Elsa is the one that's kind of connected with all this.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to try and find Elsa where she's at, and he's like, has a picture, and he's like, do you know where this person is? And like the people literally don't even look at it. They're like, no. And like, and then he like looks over and somebody like looks at him and goes, and then starts booking it. And then he takes like so much time.
He talked to the guy and he pointed.
Yeah. And then he takes so much time to like destroy everything along his path to get there. He's like, I gotta get through. And it takes so long for him to like jump over all these boats. And I was just laughing the whole time because I'm like, you don't have to do half this. Why are you destroying everything? Like, you're not a cop, so you can't get away with it. You know, I just thought it was funny. It just made me laugh.
Yeah, it was kind of stilted, that. And there was a weird cut where he's about to run into somebody, and then they cut away, and then cut back, and there was no one in front of him anymore. I was like, what happened there? Then he caught up to the person, and she's like, she died. Okay, bye. Yeah, it could have been done better.
Yeah. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
You!
He's like going backwards and just throwing stuff. Fuck your fruit.
Shit, runs back, topples stuff
I missed
over,
something.
punches somebody.
I'll be back for you. Yeah, it was weird. It was definitely weird. But God, there was something else.
That was literally a moment I was like, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
So I had to talk about it. Okay.
I thought there was something else. Can't remember.
I did like that the machine like was had a bunch of like strands. I thought that was cool. It was a cool design choice, you know?
Yeah, it was cool with it was like LED lights or something, I'm assuming. Or future lights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this whole world is really cool. I want them to expand on it. Make a TV show out of it.
Yeah.
Do it, Lisa. Do it.
Well, and the technology just behind all that, it seemed like it was very fleshed out.
Yeah.
They not only had like it really set up and like you can't do leading questions, you can't do this, can't do that. So like the whole thing was based upon that. But also they had different levels of technology, which usually a lot of these like movies don't. You know, if it's just a movie.
Here it is.
Yeah. Here's the tech. Here's how it works. But they had like the old version, and on the old version, it was even 2D. So you couldn't it wasn't a 3D version of it.
Yeah.
And then on the futuristic one, you know, it was like these big clinics, and, you know, it was called Memory Lane that it was on, which I thought was cool.
That is cool.
And, you know, so there was a lot fleshed out that I feel like was just then thrown away on a movie that was only, you know, 2 hours. You know?
Right.
There's so many cool ideas in here that could have been put into a different movie.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole thing with there being water everywhere, you know, that could have been, you know, a dystopian future where the water levels have risen. So water becomes a big part of it. That could have been in an entirely different, that would have been Waterworld. So
I'm Kevin Costner.
So maybe not.
I have gills.
I pee in a jar and drink from it.
It tastes good. Paper is money.
Yeah.
Not actual money. It's paper. Just white paper.
I heard that Kevin Costner just peed in that cup because he liked it.
Seems like something he would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, they're like, what are you doing? Like, oh, just like it. They're like, well, I guess we'll put it in the movie.
You're filming right now? We're on a set.
Oh, shit.
This is how I just dress. It's the 90s, so.
It's the 90s.
It's a weird thing going on for me here.
It's weird
After
that you
they
would
talked a lot of shit about my Robin Hood accent, I went down a deep, dark hole.
Deep, dark hole. It's weird that you would just say the decade, too.
Yeah.
Nobody was like, well, it's the 20s, so.
Well, you know, time is an illusion, so. And we're back.
We're talking about Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I would like to see it. Like, I hope that they make it into a TV show for HBO.
I hope so too.
Or at least in that world.
Mm-hmm.
But I did like all like the story beats. I thought they were all very well put together. They just needed to have better. Some of them needed better driving force to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end when he burned Cyrus, literally and figuratively. And then he goes to Tawny Newton.
Actually, not literally.
Well, it was all figuratively. It's all in his mind.
All in his mind.
Yeah.
Double figuratively. 2
metaphors for the price of one.
Getting your money's worth.
Yeah, so he like goes and confesses, and he's like, "Yeah, you'll find out, blah blah blah, bad guy. Everyone's bad." And she's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? That's not English."
Is that in the movie? I don't remember that part.
That's the director's cut.
Oh, okay.
No, and then
It's already out.
then the DA is like, "Oh, we found Cyrus, he blah blah blah," and then she like, "They cut me a deal for finding the bad people," and then I was like, "Oh, he's gonna burn himself," but then he's like stays in the tank in the Reminiscence, and I was like, I thought that was like kind of
Its body would have been just super
deteriorated.
shriveled.
Yeah, yeah, that part was weird too. But I was like, I didn't want to focus on that because it's like whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of strange, like how they did that after he like murdered a man, essentially.
Yeah.
Mind murdered him. Oh, now you get to go into heaven, essentially.
Yeah, you had to live out the best time of your life forever.
I was like, what the fuck? But I like that story beat, but I just didn't like how it got there.
Yeah.
Like he could have just interrogated Cyrus and stayed and didn't burn him, but then get Cyrus arrested. But then I guess it would have been more tragic, I feel like, than him burn himself.
Mm-hmm.
Just because. Then he would have committed suicide, essentially. Right?
Yeah, I think that would have been, which I know that would have been more tragic, but that would have made more sense. You know, like I'm not going to go, like he could have been like, you know what, I'm not going to go to prison. I'm just going to burn myself. Like that would have made more sense than just like the government being like, well, we're going to allow you to just burn yourself.
You're good.
We're okay with you just basically being in a medically induced coma for the rest of your life.
Yeah, in your fantasy world.
You know, like who was paying for the electricity there?
Yeah. And they also talked about like that the dam's not going to hold much longer.
Yeah.
And then it was like 60 years later.
Like,
and he's like, I'm fine. Maybe not 60, probably 30.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because
it's probably like 10.
10, yeah. Hugh Jackman was like, he's like 50.
It's like 50.
Yeah. But like Tawny Newton also looked super old, so they had to be in like their 80s.
That's true. They definitely.
It's like 30.
They did really good on like aging her too.
Yeah.
It looked real. Like.
Yeah, I thought like Hugh Jackman looked older too.
It seemed like they made some of his like chest hairs white.
Yeah.
Like they even went that far.
Like, yeah,
he's still like jacked. Just like,
well, don't call me Jackman for nothing. Hey,
he's actually huge jacked man.
Yeah, that's his real name.
That's from
his stage name is Hugh Jackman.
His stage name is. He actually made a little bit more nuanced.
Yeah, he's like, no,
Hugh
can't go around.
Jackman.
I'm huge jacked man.
That's on his birth certificate. Huge jacked boy, and he's like, I had to change it when I grew up.
I turned 18. The government made me change it. I'm no longer a boy.
I didn't even have to change it. The government just did it for me because they knew.
They knew I was a jacked man.
Jacked man.
Yeah. Yeah, so I like that story beat, just not how it got to it. Like, as you said, that he could have just, like, burned himself instead of going to jail.
Mm-hmm. I think I feel like it was kind of a way to, like, tie it up very nicely to make it seem like a little bit, like you were saying, like, it makes it a little bit more upbeat.
Yeah.
When the rest of the movie was just so downtrodden.
Right.
But I think it would have actually been better if they ended on a downtrodden note.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
well, like, and on the downtrodden note of him doing that for his own reasons, and then still having him, it would have been like a nice bittersweet ending. And it still was bittersweet, but it was like, government's like, whatever, I don't care about these people. You can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they also established that like being burned meant that you would be burned into a very specific memory.
Like a loop, yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to him where he looped all of the memories of her over and over again. So he got to relive the entire relationship from beginning to end.
That seems like a reward kind of for him.
Yeah, it definitely does seem like you just murdered a man, so live out the best days of your life forever.
Go for it.
Dude,
it's so
you got this.
Fresh out. But when he was in like the memories, I thought that was really well directed. Like all the scenes. It was very well, very good emotionally. Made me feel.
And I feel like I can't pinpoint exactly what I didn't like about the pacing in the beginning, but I did like the reveal that Like it made it seem like you were seeing it from the very beginning of the relationship.
Right.
But then like at a certain point, you kind of thought, oh, then this is actually all him reliving what was happening up until that point. And I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked how they kind of like hinted at it with his narration, but also the editing.
Yeah.
When you go back into memories and then you like see different things, and then it cuts to like the hand, it cuts to brushing her hair back or whatever. And I was like, oh, wait, this isn't real. It's all in his head. Yeah, that was cool. And, yeah. Oh, speaking of that scene, because it was like near that scene, it was prior to the rooftop scene. It was the sex scene between them, and I was like, it's obviously is directed by a woman because the woman's in the place of power.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that's cool to see. Because mostly it's just a dude just like, I'm fucking chicks, bro.
Yeah. So bend her over.
Titty fucking. Or like the train. Train doesn't like our talk.
Just like that. Like, hey, PG.
Keep it PG. Or it'll have the dude like throw the woman up onto the counter and like fuck her. But this time he was on the chair and she was on top. Yeah. And then like the little water was like, oh. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It was cool. I like that.
And then
part.
the water just like seeped off, you know?
Yeah. And I was like,
all I was thinking about was
dude.
Like, oh no, she's wasting all her water.
Yeah. There's not enough of it anymore.
Yeah.
She doesn't care. She's a drug addict.
Yeah. But see, there were so many cool things, like the fact that everybody now works at night because it's too hot during the day.
It's too hot.
And she had to have a big pitcher of water to like get water from, because probably water from the tap doesn't work anymore or
Salt
something.
water.
Yeah. That was cool. There's a lot of like really cool stuff that it seemed like really fleshed out, and they didn't have time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like we were talking about, like a lot of really cool things. That's like,
Yeah, I would love to see this as like a mini series or just a series in general.
Mm-hmm. Because it definitely was, it was funny because there was even one of the lines at the beginning, and I can't really exactly remember what it was, but it was like something off about like, oh yeah, I gotta get to bed soon. It's like 7 a.m. or something.
Yeah, sun's coming up.
Yeah, sun's coming up. So, and I was like, that's weird. Okay, I guess maybe this person just works at night, because it wasn't established then that like everybody works at night. And then later on they said, oh, everybody works at night because it's too hot during the day. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. That's so cool, you know? Like it was a cool little like revelation.
Yeah.
But I just wish they would have had more time to flesh it out.
Me too.
Like this would have been really good as a book that was adapted into a movie, because then you can be like, oh, I can go read the book
and see all the extra stuff.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully they make it into a TV show after Westworld's done.
Yeah. Just the concept of it would be really cool.
Yeah.
Not so much with Hugh Jackman's character. So.
Yeah, well, he's already done so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would be cool to see.
Well, they could have him come back.
Snowpiercer. So.
Yeah, they could have it happen with like them showing the war.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
You know.
They they did it with Snowpiercer, so I'm sure they could do it now.
That's true. Yeah. So,
that shows it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I never saw the movie. I wanted to though.
Movie's good.
I heard the movie's really good.
Yeah, I own it if you want to borrow it.
No, I think it's on like 10 different streaming services.
I own it. It's different, dude. It's high fidelity. It's high fidelity.
That's what I think.
Like records.
Yeah, but so is Netflix.
Eat my Netflix.
How?
That's for you to figure out. All right, yeah. But you want to give this boy a rating?
I do actually. I would talk about one more thing.
Oh, talk about more boys.
What I thought was a super cool scene that I really want to talk about was the underwater scene with the piano.
My tank.
The bad guy. No, not that underwater scene. We've talked about that one enough. Because I thought that was cool because they showed it in the trailer, and in the trailer, definitely the cinematography of it made it seem like it was some kind of like dream sequence.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, it must be dreaming, but then like underwater and it's getting pulled away.
Dream.
But then when it actually happened, I was like, holy crap, this is just actually real life. Like I thought that was, I don't know why.
That was filmed practically too. I found out.
Oh, really?
On her Instagram, yeah.
That's so
cool. Use real water. Mm-hmm.
It was so cool. You know, I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
It was a very cool scene.
And it was a good character beat to show that he was, but they kind of ruined it after. But they showed him that he's not a piece of shit, and he went to save the dude. He's like, oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
But but that was really cool.
And,
I did like that.
I guess I was a little irked when he came out of the water because I mean he was under the water for a while, and then he like comes to and then swims up and gets out of there.
He was in the Navy, dude. He can hold his breath forever.
No, it's not about holding his breath, but it's about when he came out of the water, he made no noise at all.
Dude, he was in the Navy, dude.
He not only came out of the water after holding his breath for a while, but he didn't even go like.
He was in the Navy. Don't you understand? He was a Navy SEAL.
Give him a little injection of his like little Assassin's Creed thing.
But he was a Navy SEAL.
You keep saying that. I get it. Okay, I heard you.
I needed a response. I was gonna keep going.
See, what I was saying was trying to like go against that.
He was a Navy SEAL.
I get that.
He is an amphibian.
I guess that does make sense. Fine.
No,
Fine.
it
you
doesn't
win that
actually. I got you to admit.
Dang it! Oh, you.
I win.
You.
I win. That even there wasn't a competition.
Like gotcha.
Yeah.
Fucker.
Oh, I want to talk about the music. I thought the music was dope. That guitar riff was sick.
Mm-hmm.
The brown, brown, brown. Reminded me of Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
From the trailer. But it was the same guy who does the music for Westworld.
Oh, really?
I think he does Game of Thrones, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just started watching Game of Thrones.
Really? You're putting yourself through that?
I've never seen it before.
You're going to put yourself through that, huh?
See, everybody, that's what I was saying for a long time. But now after watching 3 episodes, I'm like already hooked.
Well, yeah, it is very good for a long time.
Up until a certain point, I know.
Yeah.
But it's already fucking like enticing.
And the production value never lowers either. It only gets better, even with the shitty seasons.
There was a coffee mug in one of the scenes, okay?
That was the last season, dude.
Don't talk to me about...
They already edited it out. They edited it out.
Dude, that's... Edited. Okay.
Yeah, Ramin Djawadi. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but he's the music composer. Yeah, he did do Game of Thrones and Iron Man, Westworld, Pacific Rim. I like his style, though.
He did Iron Man?
According to his IMDb.
The song Iron Man?
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was in Black Sabbath.
No, they covered it.
Oh, they covered his song?
Yeah.
What was the original like?
I am Iron Man. I am Iron Man. I don't know.
I think he just got canceled.
I have no idea.
The original was just like a swing song.
He's from Germany, so it's fine.
I am Iron Man.
I don't remember the lyrics.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, but he's doing House of the Dragon. Is that Bruce Lee shit? No, that's the Game of Thrones spinoff.
Oh. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna...
Millie Alcock stars in it. She's got a lot of cock. All of it. She has all the cock.
Is that a prequel?
Yeah.
Is that based on
300 years before the events of Game of Thrones?
I think that's based on one of his, because my brother was talking to me about that. They were basing it off of Fire and Blood or something.
I got this book.
I got it on Audible.
I got the book.
Actually, I have the book on Audible. Which if you sign up for Audible, you get a free...
You don't get shit.
We're not sponsored.
All right.
I literally forgot that I had Audible for a long time, and until like I got an email like, "Hey, one of your credits is expiring." I was like, "I'm still paying for this? Fuck!"
You've been charged $350 for books you've never heard.
That's like when the movie shut down for a while, but they kept charging for this for like the
and then they stole my credits.
Yeah,
that all went away.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, and they like basically if you didn't go to the movies for like 4 or 5 months and you're like, okay, well I think I'm done with this subscription, they didn't let you like keep them.
Yeah.
Like, you had to basically use them up or lose them.
Right.
So then you'd be like, well, maybe I'll use them by the end of the month and not cancel it now. And then you won't remember for 3 months and then pay another 3 months for it. But I have it now because we go to the movies like all the time.
I use it on Thursday to see that other movie.
Did you use it to see Reminiscence?
No, because I used my credit for The Night House. I recommend go see that movie. It's really good if you like horror. The Night House.
The Night House.
Starring Rebecca Hall. Anyways, back to Reminiscence. We should reminisce on our rating.
A rating. Should rating miss.
Hey, that's why you come to us for high quality wordplay.
That was the worst.
We're the big time boys.
We are. Here we are. The
big time boys. Big time
TGG
boys.
cast.
Boys, big time boy.
The big time boys coming at you live.
Yeah. What do you want to rate it there, big time boy one?
I don't know. What do you want to rate it over there? Oh, yeah, I guess it's me that needs to go first. So if I was going to rate it, I would rate it 7.5 out of 10.
Wow, that's a big one.
Let's do Strandy Memory Butts.
Trendy memory butts. Put that in your spank bank. I'll rate it 7 out of 10. Huge jacked butts. Because Hugh Jackman has a nice butt.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? He's got a nice butt.
That's a nice butt.
7 out of 10. I would recommend go see it. Still fun.
I would recommend it. It may not be one that you go out of your way for the theaters, I would say.
Stop!
I didn't think to. That's the third time I've done that, so sorry.
I have to cut at that point.
For those listening, I keep hitting the camera.
Yes.
So the camera that is looking at Graham is going to be shaky, while mine is going to be pristine. I knew you were going to do that too.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't. If you live like 30 minutes from a theater, don't do that. Just watch it on HBO.
Yeah.
It's
if you
on
have
there
HBO.
If you don't, you're poor.
It's not worth getting HBO for it too, as well, I would say.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
But Suicide Squad's still on there, so get it for that.
Yeah. That I kind of would recommend that you watch on there.
Yeah.
Unless you're my parents. They wouldn't like it.
No.
Yeah.
I'd recommend go see that in the theater because it's super, super fun.
Yeah. Well, look at that.
We're near the end of our time.
It's been a fun little journey we've had today.
Yeah.
We appreciate you
A journey
coming by
through
today.
memory, through time.
Mm-hmm.
I like that little speech you gave. Reminded me of the Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah.
You imagine you are in time somewhere else, and the door opens, and there's an alien.
I also like their whole thing with like, tell me a story. Okay, well, stories all okay. Like, what kind of story? Happy story. Well,
Happy's all fucking sad, you bitch.
All stories are sad, you fucking moron. Especially ones that are happy. Well, then tell me a happy story and end in the middle, fuckhead.
Just do what I want.
God,
in love.
oh my God, Jesus. Why are we together? Why are we together?
That's why she OD'd on Bacchus. So
She's like, I'm fucking done with this.
fuck this shit. I did like that scene though. It was very romantic.
Yeah.
When she was talking to him through the other guy.
And that was kind of a synopsis of the whole movie, really.
Talking to
I
him
like how we're
through the
doing
other
this
guy.
super fast, like the last minute. It was kind of a synopsis of the entire movie, where you ended the middle, like he did in his life, where he ended in the middle of it, and then just
He's a middle-aged Wolverine.
kept middle aging for that. Goodbye.
Goodbye.